Just a few weeks ago, I attended the launch event of the Dimensity 9300 from MediaTek. Now that is the processor that's powering the brand new Vivo X100 Pro. This device is embodying the best of what Vivo is going to be showcasing us for the next year, for 2024. It has the Dimensity 9300. It has a 1-inch main sensor, similar to what we had last year with some improvements. But not only that, the internals, the co-processor has been updated to V3, and there is a lot more conversation to be said about photography and what we're able to do in video, as well as in actual still imagery. Because I'll say this, even though it's been basically maybe about 24 hours since I've had this device, I am falling in love with it. The cameras on this device are absolutely divine. This is TK, and this is my 24 hours impression of the brand new Vivo X100 Pro. Let's check it out. Like and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. In front of us is the Vivo X100 Pro. Now Vivo is launching two devices. There's the X100 that's going to be coming up in a more of a bluish color, and then there is the X100 Pro that's going to be coming out in this basically, I call it the black color, but realistically, if you really look closely enough, let's give it a little bit more of a focus. You notice there's a lot more kind of particulars in here, materials that enables us to actually see a little bit more of a starry effect. And we'll see right there the branding, Extreme Imagination, Vivo Zeiss co-engineering. The sensor that we're running here, the primary sensor, is a 50 megapixel 1-inch Zeiss sensor that's T-coding as well. We have a 50 megapixel Zeiss, basically an APO floating telephoto lens, and we're going to talk about why I love this telephoto lens. And of course, a 50 megapixel ultra wide lens that's going to be powered as well with the 9300, as well as the V3 chip here that's going to be the co-processor running in as far as the imaging and processing power that we have in here. We do have a 5400 milliampere battery that is going to be charged or powered by the USB-C port on the bottom here. That's going to be running at 100 watts. Although the charger in the box is 120, it will be running at 100 watts. And they do include a European style charger. So this is the one. Let's go ahead and get it to focus. You'll see here it's a 120 watt charger, but the capacity on this device is 100 watt. They provide us a USB-C to C cable. That's going to be the charging cable, data transfer as well. And last but not least, of course, is a Vivo branded case, because I really appreciate the fact that they do spend the time to give us a good case to protect our device. So this being in here provides us the best experience. There is a screen protector. You can see it there. So everything is in there, and this is pretty much everything we get in the box. Now that we've covered the back, let's talk a little bit about the front. And what we have in here is the 6.78-inch display running at 120 Hz refresh rate. It's an AMOLED panel with QHD resolution. It is running Android 14 with FunTouch OS 14. That's going to be running on top of it. The Vivo X100 Pro, again, global edition. The Dimensity 9300 powering it. This does come with 16 gigabytes of RAM with up to an additional 16 gigabytes of internal storage that you're able to use. So 512 gigs is the internal storage. And to my understanding, there's only basically one configuration, a 16512, which is really nice. Android 14, as we talked about it, 5400 milliampere battery, and again, 100 watt charging, and of course, running Android, FunTouch OS on top of it. Now, I've had the device literally about 24 hours, so a lot of the things that we're going to show to you guys are pretty much just the things that you should expect when you first open it up. We have configuration. You're able to log into your account, wireless configuration, NFC. It does have Bluetooth 5.4 if I'm not mistaken. And it also does have Wi-Fi 6, Wi-Fi 5, 2.4 gigahertz, all of the things that you'd expect again. As far as the actual setup and information that you have here, dynamic effects, personalizing it, sound vibration, apps, notification, system update. I did not receive an update since I've actually unboxed it. Maybe there'll be an update coming up very soon. Location, privacy, ultra game mode is going to be really good, especially for gaming. I was only able to install Call of Duty Mobile, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. Digital well-being, Google account, and of course, all the other configurations that you get there. Now, I'm pretty sure you guys want to know this because I just wanted to be able to run this real quick. There is an ultra gaming mode system here that I turned on and turned off to be able to get the different experiences. Single core is 2164 and multi-core is 6778. And then this is surprisingly higher than what I've been getting with the Qualcomm chipsets as far as the multi-core. Single core is running a little bit lower, but again, as far as multi-core, you're getting a little bit higher there. And when I ran the GT or the ultra gaming mode system here, it still has 6767 with 2162. So for the most part, this is definitely a very competitive chipset. Again, we have Google Play services installed here. You can download and run any application that you want and customize it to your liking. But let's talk about the cameras, because I feel like this is going to be the star of this and what I've been actually focusing the most within the last 24 hours. Out of the box, again, the 32 in the front gives us 1080p 60 frames per second. The main sensor on the back will give us 4K 60 frames per second. So let's go ahead and switch over here. We'll go to video. Now in video, again, 4K 60, I can switch over to the ultra wide, 4K 60. I can go to 2 times 4K 60, and I can use to the 10 times 4K 60. And we're going to be able to enjoy this quite a bit because we also have 8K recording on all the lenses. We have, of course, the cinematic portrait. This is one of their new modes, and it's actually giving us the ability of doing cinematic portrait video at up to 4K frames per second. I can jump into it, and I'll show you guys a real quick clip right now as we're talking about this. As far as some of the other options we have here, we have landscape and architecture, a little bit of a more of a tilt shift, slow motion, high resolution, of course, ultra quality document reading, panoramic, super moon, pro mode as far as video, and of course regular imagery, live photo, and of course food. But honestly, it's hard for me to explain this, but let's go ahead and jump outside and check out the video from the front camera and the main camera on the back. We're going to do a front-facing camera experience here on the brand new Vivo X100 Pro. Obviously, the biggest thing here is that its 1080p 60 resolution is going to be the maximum frame rate and resolution on the front-facing camera. Now, we know the 9300 can do more. We obviously are going to be looking at the star of the show, that primary sensor on the back, that 1-inch size sensor. That's going to be obviously giving us the best 8K and all of the bells and whistles. But from a front-facing experience, this is actually pretty decent. Hopefully, the audio and video sound pretty good for you guys. Let's switch over to the main sensor on the back, again, with the X100 Pro. Now, to say that this device is not impressing the crap out of me is very much an understatement here, because the reality of the matter is, last year, with the X90 Pro, I was super impressed. This year, I'm even more impressed. The 9300 is a very powerful processor. Obviously, Vivo's doing really good in giving us some of those experiences, but the Zeiss tuning with the lenses, again, we're getting some of the best performance, not only on the main sensor, but even when we're jumping into the telephoto. The clarity that we're getting with the telephoto lens on that we get on here is crazy good. Again, main thing here on the main sensor on the back is 8K is possible. We have 4K 60, which is pretty much where I feel like is that sweet spot. And this should be a pretty decent example of what the audio and video are from the X100 Pro. I hope you like it. I want to say that the video that I showed you guys right now is captured directly on device in the backyard. And of course, we're going to look at a lot more pictures and samples from the cameras just as soon as we're done with the gaming. And of course, what we're doing right now is the audio test. This is the speaker test, front-facing speaker, stereo speakers that we have here on the top, on the bottom. And of course, we're playing our favorite song, Alex Crindo, Jumbo by NCS Release.
Jack it up.
Now, the sound definitely sounds full. The bass is definitely more pronounced than some of the other devices that we've tested this before, but it's not going to be the loudest. From overall performance, when I've been watching content on this, it's actually been playing pretty well. I think the biggest thing I'll probably say is it's great sound, it's bassy, but it's not going to be basically overpowered or tingy at the top. Now, if we look at the top here, we do have an IR blaster positioned at the top. We have a fingerprint sensor in the display, a volume rocker, power button on the right, nothing on the left. We do have support for 2 SIM cards here, bottom firing speaker, and of course the top mounted speaker here to be able to give us the sound with the earpiece. So we have front facing here and side facing on this side. I haven't had that much time to be able to play a lot of games, but I can imagine that this is going to be running them very well. Here is the best configuration I was able to get out of it. I got ultra, I got medium. The glitch that you're seeing on the display is, unfortunately, I feel like something is wrong with the unit that I have as far as the display. It's not affecting the performance of the phone, but overall, every once in a while, I'll get a little bit of that glitch. There's no question that a display like this, looking great the way it is, with 120 frames per second and the resolution that we're able to kick it into, that it's going to give us a good gaming experience. So there's no question there. But from my testing, it played really well. I played for over 25 minutes, and for the most part, not an issue at all. It did get a little bit warm, but I would probably attribute this to probably early software. Again, this device is not officially available globally, so there's a good chance the software I'm running is pre-release software. So hopefully some optimization's done there. Now, as far as the GeekBench, as you saw there, the performance is on par to what we see with the 8 Gen 3, if not a little bit better when it comes to the multi-core. The configuration between the 8 Gen 3 and the Dimensity 9300 are different this year, where there is no power saving cores. Basically the low power cores on the 8 Gen 3 are not present on the 9300, even though they're using a similar ARM architecture. They're just basically using all power all the time. So basically all big cores for the most part. So we'll have to see how some of the optimizations is done when it comes to the software and the experience. But as far as the performance, there hasn't really been any issues there. But let's talk more about the cameras, because it is one thing to say that last year, the X90 Pro blew my mind when it came down to the performance and what Vivo is able to do. That was my first experience with an official, full-fledged Vivo device that was globally being launched. Now, up to this point, we don't know if there is an X100 Pro Plus. There is no word about that. The X100 Pro is the best that they're offering with that 1-inch sensor. The cameras are fantastic. The main sensors on the back are going to be the ones you're going to live with. This is what this device is intended to be used with. So that main sensor looks absolutely fantastic, but where it kills, where it really kills, is when we start doing that telephoto, when we jump in to get closer to the subject. And this is where it really surprised me, because as I'm showing you guys this picture, this was a little pond at the local shopping center where I live. And they have obviously little turtles in there. And they're standing there and they're sunbathing. This is probably what they do every day. But for me, as I'm going from the main sensor and start, getting closer and closer and jumping in from the, 1x to the 2x to all the way to the closest one with the lens, meaning optically used, the image was really clear. But then when I went into 20 times zoom, the image was even clearer, and this was crazy. Switching it over to video, you'll see even the same thing. When we're watching it using the video, I'm getting closer to the subject, but I'm not getting a grainy image. This is, again, showcasing that V3 coprocessor that we have here. It is 30% more power efficient than what we've had in the past, but it's still more powerful because, again, it's working with a 9300. So from what I'm seeing right now and what you're seeing in those images, there is no question that this device is going to be a hit. I want to spend a little bit more time with it. I want to get a chance to use it for a little bit more. And more than likely, we'll come back and do a camera review, since I feel like overall on the performance, I think it already proved itself. But I'd love to hear what you guys think. What do you think of the X100 Pro, and is this a device that you'd consider? The 9300 is a very nice processor. Vivo's really outdone themselves with the X100 Pro. They've done it again this year. I feel like it's another hit. What we need to know again is what your thoughts are. So thank you very much for the support. Thank you to Vivo for sending me this unit. As far as that little glitch I showed you guys in the video, I'm going to try to communicate with them, hopefully get a replacement unit and send this one back so I can do my full review on the X100 Pro. Like and subscribe. Thank you very much for the support. I'll see you in the next one.